It begins inside a diner. A boy named Dean sits alone, his eyes red, his hands trembling. He hasn't slept in days. The waitress turns away for a moment, and when she looks back, his throat opens under a blade that isn't there. Everyone screams. The police call it suicide. But Dean's girlfriend, Chris, knows he didn't do it. That night, Chris dreams of a burned man with knives for fingers. His voice is low, rough, and hateful. It's Freddy Krueger. She wakes up with scratches across her stomach. Soon her friends start dying the same way. Sliced, burned, and found in locked rooms. This version of Freddy isn't a cartoon. Jackie Earle Haley plays him like a corpse that never stopped talking. His face is melted in layers. His tone is quiet until he starts enjoying the fear. Nancy, played by Rooney Mara, begins to piece it together. She finds photos of all the kids at the same preschool. They were Freddy's students. They told their parents he hurt them. The parents hunted him down, trapped him inside the boiler room, and set him on fire. But the children repressed it. Now that they are adults, Freddy is coming for them one by one, through the same dreams that once saved them. Chris is thrown across her room and carved open mid-air. Jesse is sliced in front of the police. Quentin and Nancy realize the only way to stop him is to find the place where he died. The abandoned preschool, buried in snow and dust. Freddy corners Nancy there, laughing as he drags her across burned tiles. Quentin injects himself with adrenaline to stay awake, while Nancy crosses the line between sleep and waking. In the final fight, Nancy cuts off Freddy's hand and drives his own glove into his chest. The dream breaks apart. She wakes up in her home, safe, Quentin beside her. Then her mother walks through the door, smiles, and Freddy's blade shoots through her face from behind. Nancy screams as he pulls her into the mirror, the last image freezing in red light. The film opens decades earlier. Pamela Voorhees, the killer mother from the original, dies screaming after being decapitated by a camp counselor. A small boy watches from the bushes. He grows up in silence under the name Jason. Years later, a group of campers hike through the woods around Crystal Lake. They find an old shack, a shrine made of bones, and a locket with Pamela's picture. Then the darkness moves. One by one, they die, hung over a fire, stabbed through tents, shot with arrows. Jason wears a sack over his head and drags their bodies back underground. Weeks later, Clay Miller arrives looking for his sister Whitney, one of the missing hikers. He finds a group of new campers, wealthy, loud, completely unaware of the blood on the soil. Jason finds them first. This time, he's fast, tactical, using bear traps and underground tunnels. He's not a zombie. He's a hunter protecting the land that holds his mother's memory. Whitney is alive, chained in the tunnels because she looks like Pamela. Jason keeps her there like a ghost he can't let go. Clay and the others discover the tunnels and try to save her, but Jason kills them with mechanical precision. Machete through skulls, axes through backs, throats cut in seconds. Clay and Whitney face Jason inside the old barn. He nearly kills them both, but Whitney distracts him with the locket, pretending to be his mother. Jason hesitates long enough for Clay to wrap a chain around his neck and drag him into a wood chipper. Blood sprays, the machine roars, and Jason goes down. The next morning, they throw his body into the lake. For a moment, the water is still. Then his hand bursts out and grabs Whitney by the neck. The screen cuts to black. This reboot starts long before The Mask. Michael Myers is a boy living in a broken house with an abusive stepfather, a cruel sister, and a mother trying to keep it together. He kills animals, hides the bodies, and finally snaps on Halloween night. His stepfather, sister, and her boyfriend die under a kitchen knife, while a baby cries in the corner. Michael is sent to Smith's Grove Sanitarium. Dr. Loomis tries to study him, but the boy speaks less every year until silence is all that's left. His mask obsession grows. Piles of paper masks cover his room, each one blank, faceless. When he grows up, the guards make a mistake. One night, during a transfer, Michael snaps chains, crushes skulls, and walks out covered in blood. The mask finds him again inside his old home. He puts it on, picks up his knife, and goes back to Haddonfield. Laurie Strode is the baby he spared that night, now a teenager. The film's second half mirrors the original. Friends die, lights flicker. Michael moves silently between houses. But here, every kill feels personal. Rob Zombie's version of Michael doesn't stalk. He breaks through walls, he lifts people with one arm, crushes faces, smashes skulls against mirrors. The final scene stretches into pure madness. Laurie hides inside the old Myers house. Michael finds her, unmasks himself, showing a scarred, broken man. He seems to want her to recognize him. Then the SWAT team storms in. Laurie grabs his knife and stabs him again and again until her screams echo through the night. When the screen cuts to white, she's shaking, drenched in blood. The mask lies beside her. The heat is suffocating. A group of friends drives through Texas in a van after a trip to Mexico. They pass an old slaughterhouse and pick up a girl walking barefoot on the road. She's trembling, whispering that she can't go back there. Before anyone can react, she pulls a revolver and blows her brains out in the back seat. Shock turns to panic. They drive to a small town to find help but meet Sheriff Hoyt, who grins too wide and talks too slow. He takes control, mocks them, and sends them deeper into the town. Straight to the Hewitt family. Inside the decaying house, Leatherface waits. This version of him, played by Andrew Bryniarski, is monstrous and huge. His skin mask looks wet and stretched. He doesn't speak, he just kills. One friend is hooked and gutted like meat. Another loses his leg to the chainsaw and is dragged into the basement. The screams echo through tiled halls and rusted metal. Erin, played by Jessica Biel, becomes the only survivor. She runs through fields of hanging corpses, hides in a slaughterhouse freezer, and finally fights back. She stabs Leatherface, drives a truck through the family gate, and escapes with a kidnapped baby. At the end, Leatherface storms after her, chainsaw raised. She rams him with the truck, cutting off his arm, and drives off into the dawn. Later, a police report reveals the killer was never captured. The last shot shows him swinging the saw in daylight, screaming as the camera shakes. The Carter family, parents, teenagers, and a baby, take a shortcut through the New Mexico wasteland. Their tires burst, their car stalls, and the radio hisses with static. The sun burns. Then something moves behind the rocks. The mutants appear only when the family feels safe. They are the descendants of miners left to rot after nuclear tests. Their bodies twisted, their faces burned. They lived in tunnels surrounded by bones and baby dolls. When the attack comes, it's pure chaos. The father is crucified and set on fire. The mother is shot. Brenda is dragged screaming. The baby is stolen. The survivors hide in the car wreck, too shocked to speak. The desert turns red. Doug, the quiet husband, snaps. He follows their tracks with a bat and a hatchet, moving through caves filled with bodies. He kills Pluto with a knife to the skull, sets fire to their home, and fights the leader, Papa Jupiter, in a storm of blood and dust. Each strike feels heavy, desperate. When Doug finally finds his baby, he's barely human anymore. He crawls out of the tunnel, covered in cuts, holding the child close. Behind him, the mutant bodies burn. The camera pulls back, showing a sniper scope watching from a distance. Someone else is still out there. Before we crawl into the next movie, take a second to breathe, then hit like and subscribe. The next rebirth of evil is already waiting. A teenage girl named Mari and her parents, John and Emma, arrive at their lake house for the summer. Everything is calm until Mari borrows the car to meet her friend Paige in town. There, they meet a quiet stranger named Justin. He invites them to his motel room to smoke. The door shuts. Then everything breaks. Justin's father, Krug, walks in. With him come Sadie and Francis, a small gang of escaped convicts hiding after killing 2 policemen. The mood turns violent fast. Paige is stabbed. Mari is beaten, stripped, and assaulted before being shot and left for dead in the lake. Rain starts to fall. The killers search for shelter and find a cozy house nearby, not knowing it belongs to Mari's parents. John and Emma welcome them in, feed them, and offer dry clothes. Then they find Mari crawling through the woods, broken but alive. The moment John realizes who his guests are, everything changes. The second half becomes punishment. John, a surgeon, traps Krug in the kitchen and attacks with surgical precision. Francis loses his hand in a garbage disposal. Sadie tries to escape and slips on blood before Emma shoots her. The storm outside grows louder, lightning flashing through the windows as John drags Krug to the basement. The final scene is pure cold vengeance. John paralyzes Krug from the neck down, slides his head into a broken microwave, and presses start. Flesh pops, the door bursts, and silence fills the room. 6 travelers take a wrong turn on their way to a football game. Carly, Nick, Paige, and their friends decide to camp for the night near an empty field. The next morning, one of their cars mysteriously stops working. A stranger offers a ride to the nearby town of Ambrose, a town that doesn't appear on any map. The place looks frozen in time. Streets lined with mannequins, shops covered in dust, and in the center, a massive museum made entirely of wax. Inside, the figures look too real. Their skin glistens, their eyes glimmer under the light. Then, the truth starts to surface. They aren't mannequins. They're corpses covered in melted wax. The killers are twin brothers, Beau and Vincent Sinclair. Beau handles the victims, while Vincent, the disfigured artist, turns their bodies into exhibits. The wax museum becomes a trap, its walls lined with faces that once screamed. Paige dies first, impaled through the chin by a steel pipe. Her boyfriend's head is sliced in half. Carly and Nick try to run but get separated inside the museum. The tension builds as the wax figures start to crack, their hollow eyes melting around them. The ending erupts into fire. Carly and Nick fight Vincent in the upper floors while the entire building burns. The wax softens, faces droop, and the museum literally melts around them. Vincent falls into the fire, his wax twin brother collapsing beside him. Carly and Nick crawl through the burning hallways, covered in liquid wax, and escape through a window as the whole town goes up in flames. In the final shot, rescuers find a third brother watching from a hill. Ambrose isn't gone. It's waiting for new visitors. It starts in Antarctica, buried under ice older than mankind. A Norwegian crew discovers something massive, a spacecraft, frozen for centuries. They call in an American paleontologist named Kate Lloyd to examine what lies inside. Under the ice, they find the creature. It looks dead. It isn't. The team takes a sample. They drill, cut, and thaw the specimen, and within hours, it moves. The thing wakes up and attacks, splitting its body into claws, teeth, and tentacles. They burn it, but the fire barely stops it. Soon, paranoia spreads across the camp. This version serves as a prequel to John Carpenter's 1982 classic, showing what happened before the Americans found the burned base. The infection spreads fast. A shape-shifting alien that copies anyone it touches down to the blood cells. Kate discovers a way to identify the creature. Fillings. The thing can't copy metal. Anyone without fillings could be infected. The test divides them. Fear turns the survivors against each other. Flames, screams, and distrust fill every room. When the ship under the ice activates, Kate follows the final infected member, Carter, inside. The alien mutates, fusing with machinery and screaming in a dozen voices. Kate kills it with grenades, the explosion burying the ship. She drives out in the snowcat, alone, cold air freezing her breath. Behind her, a helicopter lands. The opening scene of the 1982 film. The circle is complete. Derry, Maine, a small town that swallows children and hides behind smiles. A boy named Georgie runs outside in the rain, chasing his paper boat down the gutter. It slips into a drain. Inside, a voice calls. Pennywise, the dancing clown, smiles back. His eyes are yellow. His teeth are endless. Georgie reaches for the boat, and his arm is ripped off in one bite. The rain washes the blood away. That scene alone brought it back to life for a new generation. Months later, Bill, Georgie's brother, and a group of outcasts known as the Losers Club start investigating the disappearances. They find that Derry has a pattern. Every 27 years, something feeds. Each child sees visions of what they fear most, but all of it leads back to the same clown. The group confronts Pennywise in the old well house, a decaying nightmare of floating corpses. The movie turns the sewer system into a maze of memory and death. Every scene feels claustrophobic, walls dripping, lights flickering, children's laughter echoing from nowhere. The climax takes place deep underground. Bill faces Pennywise, but realizes it feeds on fear. They stop running. They attack together, iron rods, rebar, fists, and screams. Pennywise shrinks, his form twisting between spider, clown, and shadow before falling into the pit. They make a blood pact to return if it ever comes back. The sunlight hits their faces as they walk out of the sewer, silent but changed. This one isn't about monsters from the woods. It's about the ones who smile at your door. An American couple, Ben and Louise, take their daughter Agnes on vacation in Tuscany. They meet another family, Patrick, Ciara, and their son Abel. Patrick is charming, polite, and slightly off. Abel doesn't speak. The two families get along and part ways until an invitation arrives months later. Come visit us in the countryside. Louise feels uneasy, but Ben insists. They go. The house is remote, silent, and wrong in ways they can't explain. Patrick's jokes cut too deep. Ciara watches too closely. Abel looks terrified of his own parents. As the days pass, boundaries vanish. Patrick mocks Ben for being weak. Ciara forces Louise to eat meat despite her protests. And their daughter disappears during a walk. The tension crawls under every scene. No screams, just politeness sharpened into control. Ben, Louise, and their daughter Agnes discover that their host couple, Patty and Ciara, have kidnapped children for years and mutilated them, cutting out their tongues, to adopt them. When they attempt to leave, the tension explodes into violence. Chef Mike, an accomplice, attacks. Louise kills Mike with a hammer. Ciara is fatally pushed off a roof. Agnes injects Patty with sedative. Patty ends up alive but incapacitated. Ant, the host's adopted boy, then picks up a brick and smashes Patty's head in, taking revenge. The Daltons escape the house in the car with Ant and Agnes. The film ends with their escape, but makes clear there is trauma ahead. The classics never died. They just changed faces. Every remake carved something new into the flesh of old legends, leaving behind worlds darker, slicker, and twice as cruel. Evil adapts faster than we do. So if you crave more twisted returns from the grave, like and subscribe to watch our upcoming videos.